Let's make a quick video. Here's a topic. Here's a question for you actually. If you were given a chance to work on something new, would you just take it? Would you think, can I meet the deadlines? Do I actually understand the code there, or there is people who can explain things to me that I might not be aware of? You know, is there people who can explain me the business, or would you just take the opportunity and just deep dive into it and trying to figure things out yourself? If your answer is no, you wouldn't take the opportunity, then let me tell you something that you might miss. Now, there, there was a junior developer I used to work with, like barely a year of experience or something like that. No more than that actually. So the guy used to work on WordPress, right? And so he would just do typical WordPress stuff, installing the plugins, tweaking the templates a little bit, downloading the templates, tweaking them, using ACF, using WooCommerce, and just typical plugins. That's the guy would do, and yeah, that basically the WordPress side was like a front for other things. It wasn't the core system, and I myself would work on the core system, the proper backend and stuff. A little bit more complicated. A lot of reports, a lot of things happening in the backend, connection with the third party APIs and all that. So yeah, I worked on that, and the front end guy worked on that. So there was an issue with the reports. So I think we had to create a separate report because the current report just had too much data, and either we could find a way to filter that data or just create a completely separate report. And we went with creating a completely separate report. So I tell you the truth, I struggled with that report a little bit, because it was just getting a lot of data in a lot of places. Some data was just not there at correct time because the data was pulled from the external system, and yeah, it was pulled through a background process running every night. Because the data was a lot, the process wouldn't just run whole day, so it would be run at night. Sometimes we wouldn't have enough data, and then so when you look at the report, the separate report that I was building, the report would be empty, and then we would pull the data manually, as in press the button and then it pulls the data. So yeah, I think I had some issue with the report. I don't remember completely what the issue was. Issue as in how to go about doing this, how to display the information. That was the issue. Not actually the technical stuff, but how to display that information. And we were discussing with product manager as well, and obviously they came up with their own ideas, but that was not technically possible. But yeah, I did have issue with the report. That's the point. um, I understood the system very well. I still had issue generating that particular report with that data. um, and so I spoke to this junior guy in a lunchtime, and I spoke to him what the issue was, and he said to me, "Oh wow, but this is how the WordPress does. This is how the WordPress displays the WooCommerce reports." I'm like, "Okay, but that's WordPress, and this WooCommerce has nothing to do with this system." So he showed me later on how the WordPress displays the WooCommerce reports and how it allows the filtering. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's not bad actually. Maybe we could try implementing that into this backend system. And I tell you what, we ended up implementing that sort of filtering into the old report instead of creating a new report. And so I think the point I'm trying to make is that when you're asked to work on new system or anything, take the opportunity, because you will be introduced to how something is done. In this case, this guy was introduced to how the report was filtering the data, and he passed this information to me. If I had not used, which I had not used WordPress and WooCommerce reports before, I would not have known. I would have gone in and done something differently, which is fine, happens all the time. But only because this guy just used, the system once or twice, or did few things here and there, he was able to help me. So yeah, whenever you introduce a new system, even when you think there is not much to learn, a lot of the times you can extract a lot of insight, and then you can apply that information to new projects. So keep that in mind, even if it's like something like small WordPress stuff, or this plugin. And even if you're building a plugin, for example, you can look at the other plugins, and then you can find the pattern how they're done there, and then you can kind of follow the same route, you know. And so it does help a lot, just knowing how things are done or how things are organized. How does that company do it? It's like we're gonna build a streaming system, and so we're gonna stream movies, fine. But like, if someone came to you and told you, but this is how Netflix does it mostly, this is how they do it, this is why their videos don't lag and stuff like that, this is how the pause functionality works, this is how you can kind of resume the video later on. If someone told you that, not the technical guidance, but if they kind of just told you vaguely how they do it, you can kind of apply the same patterns in your system. This is why it's important to work on new things that you have never worked on before, because you're introduced to stuff like this. Let me know what you guys think about this.